decision, and I totally respect that. I understand that decision, and so I just totally wish the team the best of luck. Wish that I was coaching, but understand that it was a very challenging position for him and the Chancellor to be in.
Yo, what's going on, y'all boys, man? It's Rick again, man. I'm back, man. It's LIB Media. Real quick, man. I'm back at it. And so this is what I want to say real quick, man. Because I'm already repeating myself and everything, messing up the intro. All that's cool. Lane Kiffin, right? I want to give my thoughts on this whole Lane Kiffin situation. I've been seeing it everywhere. Everybody's talking about it. And to me, it ain't really that complicated, and it ain't like, it's not rocket science. To me, it's a perfect example of don't hate the player, hate the game. Like, college football is set up in a way that this is going to continue to happen until it's changed. Nobody in their right mind should blame Lane Kiffin, even though, yes, Ole Miss is having the best season probably in the history of Ole Miss. They had a great chance to win the national championship. Now Lane Kiffin left. The school said, no, we're not going to allow you to coach in the playoff, which I don't blame the school neither. But nobody should be running around like, oh my God, Lane, what are you doing? LSU is just the better school. The way college football is set up, like I was saying earlier, is especially now with the NIL and the transfer portal, you're going to get better transfers at LSU. You're going to be able to recruit better at LSU. You're going to get a bigger piece of the pie when it comes to the revenue, the SEC revenue share, blah, 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 blah. You're going to get a bigger salary at LSU. All of these things any head coach would want. Like, you can't look at it, especially like, okay, you have maybe one of the head coaches that used to be in the NFL, and maybe he got a certain amount of money in his bank account. You know what I mean? Maybe Dion, for example, at Colorado, isn't necessarily like, oh, I got to move, because he already has a large sum of money in his bank account, and what his salary is being paid at the school isn't as much of a bigger thing. But eventually, even Dion is going to leave Colorado, because the reality of college football is you're not going to get the transfers. The blue blood schools of college football are already established. And if you don't work in one of those programs, you're not going to get the booster money and the NIL money that you need backing you. The funding one. Who won the national championship last year? Ohio State. Who had the highest payroll in college football amongst players? Ohio State. This is not a complex thing. Lane Kiffin did exactly what everybody would do. Florida also has all those things over Ole Miss. So at worst case scenario, he would have left. He would have went to Florida, but he wasn't staying at Ole Miss. As soon as the reports came out to me, I didn't even blink, and I'm like, yeah, he's gonna leave. Because I would leave. This ain't like playing NCAA in the room where you could be at a small school, but you not upgrade your coach so much that you're the best recruiter. You can get all these players to come at whatever school you at. Even in that case, even on the game, you still have time battling the bigger schools in those areas, because they naturally are going to get recruits. These kids naturally want to be on big stages. They want to be on TV. These kids want to make it to the NFL. That's why they're coming to play college football. And so, the flip side part, right, about the students and the school and all of that stuff. You feel bad for the students, but this is an example of you can't blame Lane Kiffin for it, because in any other sport, right? Not any other sport probably, but in most sports, they have deadlines before you can start talking to other coaches about what you're going to do. James Franklin gets fried from Penn State, or Virginia Tech was already talking, like they were already knowing they were going to hire him, right? They don't have, it ain't tampering in college football for them to do that. So these schools already knew, like, oh yeah, we can get Lane. So Lane, rightfully so, is going to have to accept the job or not, because it works like that for the rest of us too. When you apply for a job, you might say, dang, I want to wait a month or two before I take this other job. But when those people are looking to hire somebody, they're going to start messaging you, you might say, hey, can I get a week to think about it? But you're not getting more than a week. right? You got to give these people an answer. Do you want the job or you don't want the job? And at the end of the day, he had to say, I want the job. And yeah, you might feel sorry for the kids, but a bunch of those kids are going to transfer. All they're going to do is transfer. Some of them are going to transfer to LSU simply because that's where he went, right? It's just the way the cookie crumbles. Like, I don't feel bad for Lane Kiffin either when, him talking about, man, it was a tough decision and all that, blah, blah, blah. Man, look, at the end of the day, it works like that. Now, the only thing I would necessarily say I don't like is him trying to take some of his coaches with him. I don't blame him for doing it, but I don't like it is that the season is still going on and Ole Miss still wants to win the Natty. And those coaches that are in place know the system and they, whether you call them players or not, you got the play sheet, you know everything that's going on. You still want to give the kids a chance to play and win, and they need at least some kind of coaching staff to do that. But at the same time, he want to take his people with him. So at the end of the day, man, it just is what it is, man. That's my thoughts on it. My thoughts is just, man, you just take the better job and you do what you got to do. That's just the way it is. Until college football itself makes changes, this is going to keep happening. Brian Kelly, all these examples of, people, these uproars happening when these coaches leave, and people be like, well, this and that. Well, they made it just as even for the coaches and the players now in college football. The players can leave whenever they want to. NIL looking better over there. They can slide. The coaches doing the same thing. That's just what college football is until they get some rules and regulations, man. So this your boy Rick, man. This LIB Media, man. Y'all comment, subscribe, man. Y'all please let me know in the comment section what y'all think about this, because I would love to talk about this in more depth. And y'all let me know if y'all want me to make another video. This your boy, man, and I'm out of here. Y'all have a blessed one. Peace.